Terrance Heath is online producer and blogger at Campaign for America's Future. He recently wrote the article, Tea Party to Businesses, Stop Hiring. And I read this with great interest the other day. Great to talk to you, Terrance.
Thanks for having me.
So it's almost like the Tea Party and many Republicans want the economy to continue doing poorly simply for political gain. That's my read of it. What do you think?
It's astounding if you look at the things that have happened even in the last few weeks. The refusal in the Senate to even talk about the president's jobs bill, and most recently, the refusal to just even consider or to completely turn down a bill to keep firefighters and teachers and police officers and people that work in our communities in their jobs. It's astounding. And the Tea Party message to me was something that was just over the top, almost to the point of being, well, not almost, to the point of being absurd.
Yeah, so explain what the message is. This was a Tea Party Nation message that was sent by Melissa Brookstone.
Right,
And
right.
am I correct in reading that it was simply telling businesses, don't hire people to protest Barack Obama?
To protest the quote-unquote socialist policies of what they were calling the socialist policies of these administrations, to ask small business owners to stand in solidarity with the Tea Party movement or with Tea Party Nation, and affirm that they will not hire a single person until this quote-unquote war against business is stopped.
What's unbelievable is that not only does this confirm that Republicans, we can't say all Republicans, this isn't evidence at least that all Republicans, but some Republicans and some in the Tea Party actually want a poor economy to then blame Barack Obama, but it also shows the inherent hypocrisy of the suggestion, because why would you need to tell businesses not to hire if you already think Obama's policies are making it impossible for businesses not to hire?
Exactly. If Obama's policies were so harmful to business, they wouldn't be hiring in the first place. And the truth is, there's been meager growth, job growth in the private sector lately. This would seem to want to shut that off completely. And it's especially harmful, I think, to small businesses at this time of year when the seasonal shopping is about to start. And if you're fortunate enough to be doing good business, this is a time of year when you might actually want to add a few extra people so that you can move more merchandise and increase your profit margin.
That's exactly right. I mean, many retail businesses do a third or more of their yearly business simply in the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I believe it is, if I have my facts right.
Right.
It seems like there's a lot of interest among Republicans. I mean, Judy Biagert, Republican from Illinois, is one example, who are actually saying, let's stop talking about jobs, which is strange, because when the Republicans took control of the House in the last election, John Boehner said jobs are the #1 priority, but they haven't actually acted that way as far as I can tell.
They came in asking, where are the jobs? And that's a perfectly legitimate question to pose to them at this point, because nothing that they've done has been focused on job creation. It's been focused on extending policies that have failed to create jobs. And it's not me saying this, it's bodies like the CBO saying that tax breaks are the least bang for the buck in terms of economic growth, or Moody's analysis saying the wealthy don't spend their tax cuts, they save them and then pump them into the stock market, none of which contributes to job growth on Main Street.
No, analysis after analysis shows that extending the initial idea of the Bush tax cuts and then extending them by Barack Obama, neither is going to go far, even short term, but particularly not long term, to help the economy. I know some of the emails I'll get after this interview, which is, hey, we're picking on the Tea Party, but the entire system really is broken, and this is a system that can't be relied upon for change and progress. I agree with that. I don't know what you think. We're right now, this is about the Tea Party, but that's a true statement.
But let's keep in mind that the Tea Party Nation message and the votes of Republicans in the Senate recently are right in sync. Do nothing to help improve the economy. On one side, the Tea Party Nation is asking small businesses not to create jobs. And in the Senate, Republicans are voting against protecting existing jobs and creating further jobs. And it's the kind of investment that has, if you make that investment, in local jobs has a ripple effect in the economy. It ends up supporting, guess what? Private sector workers and protecting those jobs as well and creating new jobs in that sector.
My last question for you, and I've talked extensively with your colleague Bill Scher about this.
Uh-huh.
It's very hard, I think, to sell people on the idea that you prevented jobs from being lost. As true as it is, it's as true as it may be, it's hard to get people excited about having prevented the loss of jobs versus adding jobs. How is that going to be important for Barack Obama going into re-election? How can he sell that to people successfully?
Well, I think that one of the things that you're seeing with the Occupy Wall Street movement and the Occupy movements across the country is that people feel and see in a very visceral way what this kind of inaction, what these kinds of cuts have back at home. We're talking now about people having fewer teachers in their child's school. We're talking about having friends and neighbors of theirs that will be out of work and how that affects their local economies. And I think that's what's gotten people into the streets at this point. It's probably hard to sell that you have prevented X amount of jobs from being lost, but it is certainly a message that people understand if you can say that Republicans actively prevented action that would have saved these jobs or actually caused job loss through cuts, through policies that were bent mainly on making the president look bad and keeping the economy in its current state or making it worse.
Well, we'll certainly see if that's able to be if that's communicated in a way that resonates with voters as we see the re-election campaign. Terrance Heath, online producer and blogger at Campaign for America's Future. Really great to talk to you, Terrance.
Thank you so much.